Hi friends, welcome to a MKS Tech Talks YouTube channel. So in our channel, we are planning a free DevOps training series. So by the end of this training, you will get advanced knowledge in the DevOps. So even if you don't have any basic knowledge, we are going to teach from basics. So here, these are the topics we are going to cover. The topics are we'll start the training with Linux basics. So Linux basics is the prerequisite to become the DevOps engineer. So due to this, by considering this, I'm going to start with Linux basics. And this Linux basics, we will have around 7 to 8 classes. So once we done with the Linux basics, then we'll cover the required DevOps training tools like Git, Jenkins, Docker, Kubernetes, Ansible, Terraform. Then once we complete all these tools, then we'll start AWS Cloud, Amazon Web Services Cloud. So along with these DevOps tools, we need any one of the cloud platform. So we are going to cover AWS Cloud. Under AWS Cloud, we will cover around 8 to 9 services. So once we done with this training, we'll have interview question discussion and then resume preparation discussion. So here in this series, I'm going to upload weekly 3 to 4 videos continuously, and you will get around 55 to 60 total classes. So this is a very good opportunity for you to become a DevOps engineer. By the end of this course, you can crack any type of DevOps interviews. So to get all my updates, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, AMKS Tech Talks. So thank you. Comments of Linux, right? So
Yes.
here, if you see, so we discussed about clear ls-ltr, VMI, MKDAR, CD, PWD. So these commands we discussed. Okay. So what this ls command will do, it will list the files, list of files. It will show list of files. Similarly, ls-ltr will provide more details about the files. And VMI, what this VMI will do, so it will show the current user. Okay. So in the Linux, whenever we are working in the Linux environment, right? So the user is very important. Okay. So actually we'll have different types of users like normal user and root user. So this normal user will have limited privileges. Okay. So normal user, it will have limited privileges, limited access. Okay. So means if we are working with a normal user, we cannot perform all the activities. So we can perform only few activities only. Okay. For some activities, even for if we are trying to access any files, right? So some of the files we cannot access if we are working with the normal user. Okay. So for that reason, if we want to perform any activity, okay, then what we can do is we can work with the root user. Okay. So root user is like a super user. It is a super user. Okay. So this root user will have all the privileges. So root user will perform any activity. Okay, the root user can access any file. So root user can perform, can modify the files, can delete the files. So everything root user will perform. It is like an admin. Okay, so it is a super user, and it will perform any activity, any activity. Okay. So in the real time, what is going to happen is, so most of the cases, we are going to restrict the access. Okay. So only admin will have this root access. Okay. So the remaining, for the remaining persons, right, we will give only normal user access. Okay, so that is what is going to happen in the real time. Now, so that is what to check the user with which user we are working. So we can use whoami command. Okay, so whoami command will show the current user. So what is the meaning of current user means? So once we are working with some ABC user. So in our case, what we did is we were working with Ubuntu user. So Ubuntu is one of the user we have, right? So this is the default user. No need to create this Ubuntu user. So by default, you will get this Ubuntu user. Okay. So here, Ubuntu user is also a normal user. Okay. So whenever we are working with some user, so all the commands, what are the commands we are executing, every command will be executed as per the current user privileges. Okay, so every command will be executed as per the current user privileges. So this thing you have to remember. So sometimes we will get permission denied, like that issues. So the meaning is, so whatever the user we are working right, so that user will not have the required privileges. Okay, so for that reason always we are going to check, so with which user we are working. Okay, so to check the user, we'll use who am I, and then mkdir. So to create the directories, we can use mkdir command, and to change the directories, we can use a cd command. And this is also one of the important command we are going to use. Okay, so pwd, so print working directory. It will show the current working directory. Okay, so in the Linux, we already discussed it, right? So in the Windows, we'll have different drives like a C drive, D drive. Similarly, in Linux, always if we want to access any file, any folder, so always we have to access slash. Slash is the entry point. Okay, so every folder, every file will be available inside the slash only. So if we want to access any file system in the Linux, always we have to access slash. Through slash only we can access. Okay, so this is also one of the important command we are going to use. So always we are going to check in which path we are. Okay, so to check the current working directory, we will use pwd. Okay, so the path will be like this. So always the current working directory, the path will start with this slash. Okay, so under slash, so we already discussed, right? These are the folders we have. Under slash. So these are the default folders we'll have home folder. Okay, so dev folder, etc folder, temp folder, var folder, like that. Some default folders will be available here. Okay, so in these folders, if we need, we can create the files, or if we need any other folders, we can create the folders. Okay, so under slash also, if we need, we can create the folders. That is also possible. Okay, so then we discussed about cd dot dot. So to come out of the current directory, we can use a cd dot dot. Okay, so at a time, if we want to come out from two directories, so here let us consider. So I am in May12 directory. So if I use cd dot dot, what will happen? Will come out of this May12 directory. Now my intention is, so at a time I want to come out from both May12 directory and Ubuntu directory. Okay, so these are the directories, right? Okay, so home is one directory, Ubuntu is one directory, May12 is one directory. So these directories we created in our earlier session. Okay, so if I want to come out of May12 directory, I can use cd dot dot. Similarly, if I want to come out of two directories at a time, so that is also possible. Okay, so in that case, what we have to do is we have to use cd dot dot slash dot dot. So what this will represent is, so we will come out of the two directories at a time. Okay, so similarly, I can add one more thing here, one more slash dot dot. So what it will represent will come out of three directories at a time. Okay, so like that, at a time we can come out of the multiple directories by cascading this slash and dot dot. Okay, so here just I'm using this. So what this will do, to come out of two directories at a time, two folders at a time. Okay. And then we executed a history command. What this history command will show? It will show the list of files. Okay, so this is what we discussed in the previous session. So any doubts up to now here? Any doubts?
No, sir. It's fine. A bit confusing, but hopefully, if I see yesterday's video, then
Yeah,
it will
yes.
be good.
I
It
think
will be clear.
you didn't attend that yesterday class, right?
Right,
So
right.
maybe that is the reason. Okay, so go through the recording video.
Sure,
You
sure.
will, okay. So let's log into our EC2 instance. So AWS dot wizard.com. So sign in using root user email. So here we have to give our email ID and password. Okay. Now for recently visited EC2 instance we have it. Go to the EC2. So go to the dashboard. So here go to instances. And here you can see Linux instance. So it is in stopped state. So try to start. Okay, now it is in running state. So try to connect it to the instance. So click on connect. So here we have to select SSH client, right? Third option we have to select SSH client and take this URL. Now go to the folder where we have PEM file. So this is the PEM file, right? Don't select any folder here and do the right click. So click on show more options. Here you can see git bash here. Okay. So click on git bash here. So whatever the URL we got, right? The PEM file URL. So use the PEM file URL here. So enter
From where
s.
did we take this spam file URL?
Okay. So to get the PEM file URL, right? What we have to do is so we have to select the instance. Okay. Instance has to be in the running state. Instance has to be in running state. We have to select the instance. Then on the top, you can see connect option. So here you can see different options like EC2 instance connect, session manager, SSH client, EC2 serial console. So select SSH client. Okay. So once you select SSH client, so here you can see the URL. This URL we have to use. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Uh, so okay. So now we connected to our cloud server, virtual server, the Linux server we connected. Okay. So clear the screen. We know the command, right? Clear. And so current working directory. How can you check the current working directory? pwd is the command. So //ubuntu. Okay. And so now, so with which user we are working? Who am I? So Ubuntu by default, we are going to log in as a Ubuntu user. This is the default user if we are working on the Ubuntu machine. Okay. So we created Ubuntu mission. If you remember, while creating the ICT instance, we created Ubuntu mission. Okay. So as we are working on the Ubuntu Linux, so by default, the user will be Ubuntu. Okay. So we are working with Ubuntu user. Okay. And here, so go to the folder cd slash. This is the entry point, right? Just I'm trying to go to the entry point. Okay. So cd dot slash. So now I can check the current working directory. So now I am in slash. Earlier when we logged in, we are under /home/ubuntu. Okay, so by default we will be under Ubuntu home directory because we are working with Ubuntu user. Okay, so this thing also you have to remember. Whenever we logged in with some user, by default we will be in the home directory of the user. Okay, why we are when we logged in, why we are inside the /home/ubuntu? Because this is the home directory of the Ubuntu. Okay, so for every user there will be home directory. Okay, so for every user there will be one home directory. So whenever we logged in with some user, so by default we will be in the home directory of the user. As we logged in with Ubuntu user, we are in the /home/ubuntu. So this path is it is home directory of Ubuntu user. Okay, so as we logged in with Ubuntu, so that is the reason why by default you will be under this path. Okay, so similarly, if we log in with some ABC user, so what will be our path? If we log in with the ABC user, what will be our path? By default, we will be under /home/ABC. Okay, if we log in with ABC user, by default, we will be under ABC user home directory. So for every user, okay, for every user, the home directory will be available under /home. Okay, so now, so check ls. So here we have home. This is the home directory. This is the home directory. Okay, now we are under slash. Under slash, we have one directory with the name home. So go to this home directory, cd home. Okay, so now what is the current directory? We are under /home. Okay, now under /home, again check ls. We have only Ubuntu folder. Only Ubuntu folder. We don't have any other folder because as of now, we didn't created any user. If we create any user, so for that user, one folder will be created by default under /home directory. Okay, under /home, by default one directory with the username will be created whenever we create any custom user. Okay, so here, so if we have ABC user, if we create ABC user, so one ABC directory will be created, one ABC folder will be created under /home. Okay, so as of now, we have only Ubuntu user and we didn't created any custom users. We are not able to see any other folder except Ubuntu under /home. Okay, so is it clear? Is it clear?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. So now I want to come out of this home directory. So cd dot. Okay. Now check the current working directory. So now we are under /home. So under /home, I have many directories. So as of now, remember, if the file is with blue color, that is directory, that is folder. Okay, just remember. We will discuss about the files, how to find whether it is a folder or it is a file or it is some other type of file. Okay, so whether it is a text file. So these things we'll discuss in the coming session. As of now, just remember. So if the file color is blue, okay, if the file color is blue, it represents it is a folder. Okay, so all these are the folders. You see, all these are the most of these files are the folders. Okay, so we have some green file also. We'll discuss what is this green represent. Okay, so now here what this root represent, it is in blue color, right? Okay, it is also a folder. Okay, so this one just remember. So if the file color is blue, if the file color is blue, it represent folder or directory. So mostly we are going to call directory. We are not going to call folder. Okay. So both are same, folder or directory, both are same. So blue represent it is a folder. Okay. Now I have root folder.
So I have one question.
Yes.
This we haven't created this folders, so how come
Yeah.
this folders
Yes.
got
Yes.
created?
Yeah. So that is what we discussed in the earlier session. So by default, whenever we create a Linux machine, right? So these are the default folders we are going to get. Okay. So as of now, we didn't created any folders in this particular path. Okay, so all these folders got created. These are the default folders. So every folder has its own purpose. Okay, here you can see home. There is a where folder. So under where directory, all the log files, all the variable files will be stored. Similarly, we have home directory. Under home directory, the home path for all the users will be created by default. Okay, so these are the default directories whenever we create Linux instance. So these default directories will be created. Okay. So
Yes.
these things we'll discuss. We discussed in the previous session. Okay. Discussed is so we are discussing the basic command. Thank you for watching this video. Uh, for more videos, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, MKS Tech Talks. Please like and share this video. Thank you.